Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Let the melting begin. Might take a while because weekend winter storm and blizzard conditions are being followed by bone-chilling cold for the first half of this week. Wind chills early this week will be as low as -20. Now, most of the Nebraska snow totals from the storm were lighter than expected. The southeast corner of Nebraska seemed to bear the brunt of the storm with 5 to 7 inches. One spotter reporting 12 inches of snow near Falls City. Farther into northeast Kansas, some of the heavier amounts ranged from 10 to 18 inches of snow. Topping the list, 18 inches of snow in Seneca, St. George, and Chapman, all of them in northeast Kansas. Now, the snow came down consistently Sunday in southeast Nebraska, but not in as high an amount as forecasts had predicted. Tim Hackett has more from a blustery Sunday in Fairbury.
Well, the first winter storm of the season has certainly brought snow to southeast Nebraska, just simply not as much as was initially anticipated. Forecast called for about 12 inches of snow around the area across the weekend, and here in Fairbury and Jefferson County, we simply have not seen that much. Emergency services reported about 3 inches of snowfall overnight from Saturday into Sunday. That total got up to about 4 inches as of mid-morning on Sunday, and here on Sunday afternoon, that total really about 6 to 8 inches depending on where you are in the area. Other places nearby us have certainly seen more snowfall. Reynolds and Hubble, about 30 minutes to the west of Fairbury, they got 8 to 10 inches, and into Kansas, about an hour south of us, they've seen snowfall into the double digits, 10, 11, 12 inches, if not more, in certain areas. The city of Fairbury itself has been under a snow emergency since noon on Saturday, but we really didn't see any snow in the area until about 7 or 8 p.m. Saturday. Even as of 1 to 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, not a ton of snow on the ground or in the sky. That really picked up as Sunday continued to move along. Folks were out plowing in the residential areas early Sunday morning, but the snow that had accumulated over the course of the day Sunday really has made those efforts null and void. There's tons of snow in the area on Sunday afternoon. And what we have seen, even though we haven't seen a ton of snowfall, we have seen consistent snowfall. Like what you can see behind me, it's been snowing with about this consistency and with about this velocity pretty much all day Sunday. That has made recovery efforts extremely difficult. Road conditions not great. Conditions on the sidewalks not great. It's very slippery here in downtown Fairbury, to be sure, and visibility, regardless of where you're driving, that has been an issue on Sunday as well, especially when you get out to the north part of downtown on Highway 15, getting out of the town. It is difficult to see short distances and certainly difficult to see long distances. That makes travel plans extremely difficult, and that's going to hinder recovery efforts. Folks have been plowing here in downtown around the courthouse since about 11 a.m., trying to clear the sidewalks around here, hoping to get things back up and running for the start of the work week on Monday. We will see just how effective those efforts can be. We haven't seen as much snow as we anticipated we would, but it has been consistent and it has made travel plans extremely difficult. Tons of businesses closed up shop a little bit early on Saturday. Just about every church in the area did not have a service on Sunday morning. Makes sense given these conditions. We will see how much progress can be made for school and for work and for everything else that comes with the start of the work week. Reporting in Fairbury, Tim Hackett, News Channel Nebraska.
And while the heavy snow has moved on from Nebraska, the large and powerful winter storm pushing from the central U.S. now to the East Coast. And as Amy Kiley reports, there'll be snow, ice, and even thunder sleet.
I've been doing snow removal for 15 years, and this is the heaviest storm I've seen.
A massive winter storm has tens of millions of Americans under winter weather alerts today.
Stuck here in a motel.
NOAA's Weather Prediction Center says some areas could end up with their heaviest snowfalls in more than a decade.
I can't recall the snow being this bad at all.
I've lived here pretty much all my life, off and on, but no, I don't remember anything like this in a minute.
Forecasters say the storm is moving out of the central U.S. today. It's clobbering much of the Ohio River Valley on its way to the East Coast.
please stay off the roads. Give our plow teams plenty of room to work during and after the snowfall.
Snow and blizzard conditions aren't the only issues in some areas. Forecasters say many states farther south face powerful wind and bitter cold. And Kentucky saw thunder sleet last night.
Thunder mixed in with freezing rain, just incredible to see that. It just shows you how powerful this storm is.
The National Weather Service says thick ice also could be a problem along the storm's path. That could cause heat outages in cold areas.
This is the type of ice that would weigh down your tree limbs and power lines and cause some problems.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A woman's facing charges after authorities say she shot a gun near a teenager. This happened on Friday. The Frontier County Sheriff's Office says they arrested 49-year-old Kenya Wheat. Authorities say in court documents that Wheat fired a gun at a McCook residence near a 16-year-old. A witness told authorities that Wheat and a man were in an argument that started over a spill. According to a witness, the teen was cleaning up the spill as Wheat grabbed a gun, stepped outside, and fired a single shot. No one was hurt. She was arrested on felony weapon and terroristic threat charges and is being held on $500,000 bond. A U.S. Navy missile destroyer will bear the name of a Nebraska politician. U.S. Navy Secretary Carlos Del Toro announced last week the vessel will be named the USS Bob Carey. Carey, of course, served as governor of Nebraska from 1983 to 1987 and as a U.S. Senator from 1989 to 2001. He's also a Medal of Honor recipient for his time as a Navy SEAL in Vietnam. Last week, we brought you a story on outgoing Kearney Mayor Stan Klaus, reflecting on 18 years as mayor. Here now is an excerpt from our full interview with Klaus.
Over 18 years as mayor, more than 2 decades on council, there's inevitably going to be some evolution within yourself, even how you approach things. How have you changed as mayor over 18 years?
Well, I think that probably the biggest thing is more empathy and more understanding. There are some issues, and I tell people this too, every decision we make, there's a loser. You know, people may not believe that, but anytime you pass a law, an ordinance, whatever, there are winners and losers. And so down at the legislature, I'll probably make that comment at some point in time, because when I hear this, the public outcry, well, we don't pick winners and losers. I'm like, wrong. Anytime you make a law, there will be somebody that's perceived losing. So you try to mitigate that impact on those that may be losing something or feel that they're impacted negatively. And I think that that's one of the things over the years I'm more sensitive to that. I'm like, okay, if we do this, then what's going to happen here? And then also looking at the long-term impact of any decisions we make. What are the unintended consequences? What are some things, if this goes wrong, how do we deal with that so that we have a good exit plan or exit strategy and guardrails in place. So I think that over time I've been more attentive to that, because the decision we make here on the council is going to impact, or potentially could impact, things years down the road after we're all gone.
So there's been evolution here in the council with yourself, but I'm sure there is with the city and with the people of Kearney as well. Have you noticed much in how either how the people interact with the government or what their wants and desires are from the city?
Well, I think that goes back to early on, Judge Wolf. He's passed some time ago, but he told me, he said, Stan, the only thing I'm going to tell you is think young. And I never really put that together until I fused into it, and we have a lot of young professionals. We have a university, we have a community college, a medical profession. I mean, we have a lot of young professionals in this community. So we have to think young, and what does that mean? I didn't register for a while, but it means, okay, we got to have good parks and recs, because, what are these young parents? They want to take their kids to the parks. We want to make sure we have splash pads. We want to have all the amenities the young professionals are looking for. And so that's always been important, is how do we think young, and how do we keep things engaged so that people want to come to Kearney, our young folks want to come back and raise a family here.
And you get to look forward now with the new council president, Mayor Jonathan Nicola, new city manager, Brenda Jensen. you don't get to pick the direction of the city now, but what excites you for the future of Kearney?
Well, I think that we've got a lot of things in place. And again, I'm going to point out to the hospitality sector. There's a lot of potential out there yet. And you look at the medical and UNK, there's a lot of potential there. And we look at what we've got with housing and some things out in the northeast part of the city. So a lot of those things are there. It's on the table, and Brenda's been a part of that in a role as assistant city manager. You know, when you go out by the recycling center, there's some property out there, but we were lacking some of the water and sewer in that particular area. So I think there's some plans there that, and once you get that in, who knows what can happen there. So I think there's just a lot of neat things. The Cherry Avenue corridor for development, I think that's great. And then we'll see what happens on the West Highway 30 if you get the roundabout in on campus, and University still has some ground out there. On the just south of Meadowlark Golf Course. There's a lot of potential out here for a lot of good projects that'll keep our community going forward.
You can see the full interview led by Michael Shively at our website and on our YouTube channel. In fact, you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com. Click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.